Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Gemstone Legends video. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at what I assume is pronounced Zojin. If I am incorrect and you know what it is, let me know in the comments. This was the latest hero. I did a summoning video and kind of a review before the portal closed, giving my thoughts, and I'm quite pleased. So I figured I would do talking about equipment and displaying this hero in action. I've not done something like that in a while, and I think it's a fun thing to do. So you can see I've gone for the full awakening. I'll talk through my choices for equipment and what things to consider. Obviously, you can see some of the bonuses up above, but I want to talk through that in more depth because I think there are some important considerations to make. And then we'll look at this hero in action in a couple different contexts to discuss pros and cons and what you can expect to see for your own. So looking at this special skill real quick, level 1 is deals damage based on target's speed 3 times, 75% chance to inflict burn. So every time the special goes off, it's 3 hits and 1 burn status. And 75% chance of a burn status. At the final level, which this hero only takes 10 tomes to max, some of them are like 15 or more, I think. So pretty good deal, and I think worthwhile in terms of bringing a hero to their maxed state. Deals damage to a single enemy based on 520, so we're up from 450, which is a pretty generous increase compared to what we often see for like attack-based heroes. So 3 times again, and then 100% chance to inflict burn for 4 turns. So that 4th turn really does make a difference because burn statuses take 6% of HP. So if you stack up a bunch of these, having a 4th turn might be just a guaranteed death if the 3rd turn was not already. And then if we go to the passive, level 1, start of his turn, 100% chance to gain increased accuracy, which I believe is plus 40%, which is fantastic, since this is a hero that functions much better with increased accuracy. And from the cabinet, you're also getting an additional 50%. So it's not too hard with a little planning to get this hero up into like the 200% accuracy range. And after the passive triggers on their turn, closer to 250 or something like that, which is quite good. If he has less speed than the target, he recasts 3 times. So now you're talking, if you have less speed, which isn't that hard to do, you're now casting 4 times, and then an additional 4 casts for every 30 speed difference, but I think it goes down to 20. So now you need to have 80 less speed. So we'll talk about that. And then you can have the potential to land up to 8 burn statuses and hit 24 times, which is pretty incredible. So we'll look at what the damage is like. I'll try to find a decent arena team to show that against, and then we'll look at it against like a Rift boss or something like that. All right, and then mana gain increased by 1, which is incredible because now you're up to a mana gain of 25, so 4 tiles on your turn or 8 off of your turn to charge this hero. So now let's look at what I went with for equipment. I considered doing like a full equipment build, but those can be really long sometimes. So I figured it would be maybe more valuable just to do that off camera and then discuss my choices, okay? So the big 3 things first: defense boots, accuracy armor, and crit damage gloves, okay? So because you're doing damage based off the opponent's speed, you don't have to worry about attack. That does mean your gemstone attacks will be less, but this hero is potent enough that I decided to go for a tankier build and getting defense over 3,000, HP pretty close. I think I can do a bit better theoretically, but this is where I'm at right now. Crit rate, higher than it needs to be, though at 115 it is a guaranteed crit on every single color. I think 100 is fine in many cases, but 115 is great too. Crit damage is on the low side. Accuracy is pretty good. Res is pretty decent. And the interesting thing is you want speed as low as possible, right? Because now anyone where the speed currently is, anyone with a speed of like 311 or more, he's going to do his maximum amount of hits. And 311 is not that fast. It's actually quite slow compared to top arena teams or raid bosses. So he'll be great on the green raid boss for getting tons of statuses. Okay, so let's see what else we've got going on here. So defense boots, I was looking for substats of accuracy, crit rate, and then after those, survivability stats like HP and defense. So attack and res were just incidental here, but I wanted the accuracy boost, crit rate boost, and I wanted to try to have some set bonuses I could work with. So for Guardian, we've got 15% defense. All right, go away. For the armor, we have accuracy, 6-star for as many of these things as I could. I didn't have the right set of boots, so I'm going 5-star boots, which is just a little bit less defense in that case. So 70% accuracy. Again, we're going crit rate and crit damage, which is good. Speed was unintended. 5 is not a big difference. You know, in many cases that'll be the difference, or that would only be the difference of one additional cast probably, so not too big of a deal. HP would have been nice as a percentage instead of a flat stat. And yeah, speed I would have gotten rid of if I could. I did play around with, like, I don't really need the Hawkeye set bonus for that extra 15% crit rate, but I didn't have the right pieces once you start shifting things around, so I stuck with this for now. But I think, like I said, theoretically I could do better. Crit damage gloves, and these were just kind of a unique set that had a huge HP boost. So it would be nice to have had maybe more crit rate here, which I could have then given up somewhere else or something, but this is really helping the survivability a lot, and we're still a bit low on HP in terms of what I would consider ideal. You know, somewhere in the low 30s would have been nice, 30,000. But again, not bad. So we also get a little bit of defense here, a little bit of accuracy, and a little attack. That doesn't matter as much. Once again, crit rate, accuracy, a little bit of crit damage, a little bit of HP. We're getting another set bonus here for another 15% HP. Helmet, completing the set. Again, more crit rate. The attack was incidental. Accuracy, a bit more. And then lastly, the weapon, crit rate. So you can see what it takes to get crit rate over 100 when you are not using crit rate gloves. You really need to prioritize those main stats, which is why I wanted to try to work the set bonuses in here, because without those, I would be a bit squishier, which is not where I want it to be. And again, some more accuracy, HP percent would have been nice. But that's where we're at. And it's been working pretty well. So if we look, unfortunately, we are gaining 18 speed from the cabinet. And so the 23 is made up of 18 from the cabinet and then also 5 from the accuracy armor. And let's see what else. Accuracy is going to go up to 236 when his turn begins, which is totally fine to have to wait for that, obviously, because in most cases he's not going to be ready until his turn. His speed is quite slow, so that does mean that you need to build a team that will allow him to survive, you know? So maybe you wouldn't want to go against a yellow heavy team where they're going to target him first or something. You do need to think about your team composition with regards to colors, your opponent, and how that's going to interact what he does well. So like decreasing res on the opponent team would be a great thing for him, just to allow his accuracy to soar a bit more. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I learned from some testing, do not put him on a team with Strybog because you will get increased speed from Strybog, and you don't want that because that makes him less strong. So again, you got to think a bit about what kind of heroes you want to pair this guy with. But other than that, pretty easy to work with. So that's the build right now. He's also an accuracy leader. So if somebody knows all guild-related battles, does that mean like raid bosses and war, basically? And that leaves out arena? Because I don't think arena is a guild-based thing. I think that's an individual thing. I could probably look that up, but anyways, if anyone happens to know, throw that down below. So let's jump in against a rift boss or two first and just see what kind of damage we can do. Again, he is going to be best against fast heroes. So raid bosses have a very high speed. Rift bosses often have high speed. And anything over like 311, he's going to be at his max. And the higher the speed, the higher his damage is going to be. Ignoring the recast potential, but his actual damage is a factor of speed. So potentially a very interesting hero for arena if you can survive until your turn, and that would be the trick. Because if you're facing these really high speed heroes, it's going to take a while before he gets a turn, and he's only targeting one person, but with all the statuses he's capable of placing, that is going to kill. If you land 8 statuses at 6% each, you're doing 48% damage per turn, and that's going to be on there for 4 turns. So if enough turns go by, that hero's going to be dead unless they remove some or most of those statuses. Alright, so we'll go to a rift boss or two, see this hero in action, and then check him out in the arena. And along the way, let me know your thoughts. I don't claim to be a significant expert at this game yet. It's definitely more complicated than Empires and Puzzles was. So yeah, share your thoughts. It helps me learn as well, in addition to other people watching the video. Alright, so to start, I figured we'd go for the good old Phoenix Rift. I put Zojin in place of Cyril, who's usually on this team for me, just as a solid blue sniper. So yeah, let's see what we can do. And again, it's only 8 tiles off his turn to charge him, so with a favorable starting board, we managed to do that right away. I'm gonna hold him for a bit, just because these heroes, if we look at the stats, speed of 240, so that's pretty close to his own. So he's only going to have 1 additional recast, which is not very exciting. And he's not really a wave clearing kind of hero anyways, which is why I have Perrin on this team, because he is a wave clearing hero. And if you're a novice to the rifts still, I have videos about how to build teams that are most suitable in the rifts, and one of the things to keep in mind is to have a wave clearing hero in addition to single target heroes, so that you can really get through as quickly and efficiently as possible. Alright, so now we'll go into the boss, and the boss has 620 speed, so we're going to be seeing peak damage, and all 8 should land. Res is quite low at 85, and so it's not his turn right now, so his accuracy is 196. He doesn't have a turn for a while, so we're just going to go for it. So what would that be, like 1734? 5100 per cast. So far, it doesn't appear we've missed a status yet. You can see that HP is melting away. So yeah, maybe 1 turn here. Oh, but they do they do reduce the potency. Where is that? Yeah, 50% less damage. All the bosses have that. However, it looks like with all those statuses, 2 turns, and we are dealing some substantial damage. Except not during our turn. Alright, so that's a kill. And he's pretty tanky. Like, if we look at Perrin, who's built based off of attack, defense 2600 is actually pretty decent. HP is 2400, so he is on the weaker side, and you feel that sometimes. All right, so we didn't need the increased accuracy before, so we'll just go for this again. It'd be nice if they sped up this animation a bit so that when you are maximizing, it's a bit quicker, but pretty cool animation. I feel like they're doing a really good job with that kind of thing. So, strong, right? I don't think Sigil is necessarily needed on this team if your damage output is high enough, so him with a blue sniper is going to be quite quick. So maybe as another test, we'll go into the Moon Rift and try out the same kind of thing here. So we'll put him in this spot. Oh, but then we have Strybog on this team, which is not ideal. We don't want to boost his speed up, but let's see. Even with boosted speed, I think the boss is going to have quite high speed, so maybe that won't be an issue, or won't be much of an issue. But again, these heroes, 240, so that's been pretty consistent. Okay. And what is increased accuracy is for 3 turns, so that's pretty good. Holds out for a while is what I mean. And we won't use Strybog yet. And the cool thing is, watch this. So actually, he's only going to do 1 recast. How much HP do they have? Not sure what's going to happen, but... Oh, yeah. Yeah, their speed is low, so his damage is low, which is interesting. I kind of like that, where his damage scales with the difficulty of your enemy in the direction that you would want it to, right? So typically, the harder opponent you face, the less damage you're doing because the higher their defense is. But in this case, the more potent your enemy, the more potent he is, and that's really cool. So I forget if that's not quite enough, so I should have used Strybog first. Oh well, that's not what we're here to demonstrate. All right. So increased accuracy is still holding, stats 590 speed and fairly low res. And what kind of HP are we looking at? 100,000 HP. All right, so there was one other thing that I was thinking that I can't remember. Yeah, it would be awesome if I could drop crit rate a little bit and boost crit damage up by even more than I'm dropping crit rate. That would be pretty ideal. And dropping a little more speed is just going to help him a bit more. But yeah, really cool hero. Really glad that I went for this one. And I tried to... Oops, fat fingered that. Tried to help other people seize that opportunity also by releasing the video while the altar was still open, since you have a pretty good chance of pulling the hero with the 50% boost. Alright, so that was 25k per turn, which is a quarter health, so if you have another sniper in there, it's going to be pretty quick. A lot of people are not going to get that excited for a hero that's excelling with bosses, though it is nice that he works for the green raid boss as well. Currently, I've been using... what is my team there? Aurora, Esmeralda, Kusai, Gladiosa, and Akuma. And I think he'll be a lot better than Gladiosa because he's able to land 8 statuses, whereas she's typically landing 4 at the most. So let me see if I can find a decent team in the arena, and we'll check him out versus some actual PvP opponents. Alright, I haven't been as active in the arena lately, so I don't have that many great options, but we have a decent looking team here. I really wish it was possible to see the gear or the stats of the heroes you're facing. That's something I'm holding out a strong hope for that they add in the future. I understand why they wouldn't have done that to begin with, or why that, might be desirable in a way, because then you're not really sure. But I think it's much more fun to be strategic, knowing, all right, his speed is this, so actually I can get away with putting Strybog on my team because it's not going to raise me enough. And, I like thinking about things that way. So maybe in the future. For now, I'm going to go with this kind of odd team here and see what happens. A lot of statuses here. We have Burn from Perrin. We have Assassin's Mark from Kityoko. So, okay, they've got some decent speed. Silence to start off is not ideal. All right, and so we have 7 purples, which is a auspicious start. Alrighty, so we will go for blue, and we'll get that purple. Let's see what we can do without increased accuracy. Alright, so Nefri's the one that we want to knock down first, so let's boost our attack. And she had decent speed, so you can see how much further down he is in the queue. So yeah, their speed's not great, but we'll see what we can get. We also have the color advantage here. Some resisting, but she's not gonna survive this. And silence. Alright, so I don't think she removes any statuses. Sorry about the construction work you might be able to hear outside. Alright, so there's no one. I guess we'll boost him up a bit. Match some purples. Let's go 1. Go with that, and then remove some greens so she gets to match extra times. Plenty of greens for them still. Okay, let's go for another. He's going to be a slower target slower. So damage is going to be lower, and there's going to be fewer casts. So do keep in mind that as a limitation. This is not just like a hero that's just going to burn through everyone. So we got no recasts, meaning his speed is slower than ours. This is something where the higher you get in the arena, the less this is going to be an issue. It's an issue right now because I'm not that far up in the arena. As you can see by that significant damage there. Alright, so let's go Assassin's Mark here. Whew, 5 is fantastic. And I think this is our best target. So yeah, pretty lackluster. Under 3k damage and only 1 status when you're facing slower heroes. So I just really want to make it clear that there is an inherent weakness to the way this hero functions, but their weakness is also their strength in a way. Alright, so let's blow up these Assassin's Marks and put some fire in place of it. So 20k damage. Oh yeah, and what I wanted to say before, that's what I kept forgetting that I wanted to come back to. When he gets a kill, like say you attack a very fast hero and he's dealing high damage, if he gets the kill, he then starts hitting somebody else. I think it's random who they go to next. Maybe it's in order of speed. I don't know how that part works, but the damage isn't just lost. You're not just beating a dead horse at that point. It will turn towards another enemy and the damage will carry over, and therefore the statuses will carry over. And you can rewind to see if when he switched from Necros to Dusa, did the damage change or was the damage set by the initial target? That would be interesting to know. I could see it going either way. So if it's set by the initial target, then you could have him as part of a 1-2 punch where you do some kind of big hit and defense down, follow up with him, Zojin, and then you get to take advantage of the higher damage and start to put statuses on a completely different target and take out a fast hero at the same time. So I really like the mechanic. I like the room for creativity there. So hopefully this information is helpful and interesting. And as always, I really do want to know your thoughts as well. So let's wrap it up with some marks here. Damn, there was some resistance there too, which means we had the potential of landing even more than we did, which is exciting because that's another 20k. Also, that damage scales up. Assassin's Mark damage scales up the more formidable your opponent because they have more HP, so you're taking a bigger percentage. So this stuff doesn't look as impressive here. I'll see if I can find one more. If you want to stick around to watch one more, if you've already gotten your curiosity satiated, share your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, all that good stuff, and then we'll do one more battle here for the extra curious ones like myself. All right, here's another pretty decent team. Team power is higher than mine now, where the last one was a bit lower. We've got fully maxed and awakened heroes. Speed leads, so they're going to get the jump on us. They've got Brody, who's going to block statuses for me and deal some damage at the start. So let's see how it goes. I brought Sigil to remove some of the fire statuses from Sven, because you can harm the opponent team by killing him and clearing the statuses from yourself. So yeah, this could be a tough battle here, but it'll be an interesting showcase since we're probably going to be dealing with a very fast Strybog, and the rest is hard to say. So let's see how it goes. Wow, not a fast Strybog whatsoever, and wow, we resisted across the board thanks to Halika. So that went quite well. All right, there is all the purples we need. So the fastest hero appears to be Cyril. So let's hit Cyril first. All right, so we got, let's see, 1 recast based on speed differential. So this is a very slow team, actually. Maybe it looked stronger than it actually is. I'm not sure. Okay, so gonna try to get Kit Yoko charged up here. That should be enough mana. Okay. All right, we got 3 that time. I don't think that's going to get Aurora charged, just barely short. Okay. Cyril is probably going to die. That is 30% of his health. He appears to be under 30%, so straight up kill. And yeah, just thinking of the damage potential of Zojin, it's quite high because he's dealing all the hits, and the hits are very small on their own, but if you're dealing 24 of them, that's pretty good. Even if they're only 1,000 each, you're doing 24,000 damage to a fast hero who's going to be dangerous, and then you're potentially doing another 50% of their HP roughly per turn after that. So very offensive hero. It's not happening immediately, but if that damage was happening immediately, it would be way too much. So yeah, let's just get back to work here. I don't think that's going to be a kill. Close. Yeah, it would be nice to make him even tankier. Ooh, that's a lot of burn. Wow. Oof. Yeah, Sven can be dangerous to his own team as well, but not to be underestimated unless you're prepared for it. I wanted to keep most of the team intact as is, so I went with what I went with. There's better things I could have chosen, but yeah. Okay, we don't have any room there. So they're probably going to gang up on Sigil, so we'll keep her a bit healthier and pull as many of these reds out as we can. Yep. I'd say 3 is pretty average for her in terms of how many hits she lands. Which is still enough to do some pretty good damage. 20k for 3. Alright, we'll speed this up now. So even if she lands only 2 there, that'll be enough for a kill. Interesting they picked on Zojin there, because Kiryoko definitely has weaker stats than he does, but I suppose because she's blue, they're picking on him because he's the weakest neutral colored hero. I assume is what's happening. So again, that's something you want to keep in mind with your team building, is like, it would be nice had he not been wiped out so early. He did his job still up front. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. I feel like that's a pretty complete picture. I'm happy with the information presented here and very happy with the hero and, for the most part, the build that I have done for them. So very curious to hear from you guys now around this topic. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I do have a lot of the heroes, the good legendary heroes. So if you want to see something similar, I guess let me know your requests in the comments below if there's someone in particular that you want to see. Like I said, I have many of them. Not of the astral heroes, just have one epic. But anyways, yeah, let me know your thoughts. I want to hear from you guys. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And if somehow you've stuck around this far and you're not already playing, download links in the description. Download from those and not from the App Store, and that will make sure that you do get a $50 starter bonus when you begin. Only will you get that from the links in the description of this video. So claim that, get off to a good start, have some fun, and I will see you guys in the next video.